if you do the full set, you get watercolor, pencils, pens. I know some of you have purchased them, so if you do like them, let me know. If you don't like them, let me know as well. I'm happy to give refunds or make it right if any of you have. Let's sketch the base. So I'll sketch in the base like this. You know, kind of get the essential parts. The question was, how do you do an exploded view? So there's one. All right, and now you got to think about what's inside of this. Okay, maybe there's a PCB. It could be a circular PCB. It could be, Sorry, I just had a brain freeze. It could be square. So just decide on what it is. I'm gonna do a circle PCB, just to keep it simple. And then we're gonna have something with perhaps a series of drivers, you know, and it's at an angle. So maybe there's some sort of fixture in here. Okay, and then we're gonna have the fabric on top, which looks something like this, right? But since we're just going vertically, like this would, let me think, this would be an angle, so probably more like this for that fabric piece. And this might have, like I said, some driver, maybe some tweeters in it on this surface. We'll go ahead and fix that. Maybe some mounting points for screws. Okay, you might have something like that on this plastic piece. So sketch that in, and then you're gonna have things like screws. So right here, I may sketch in some sort of, you know, screw like that. Same thing here. Now, exploded views are a lot easier if you have real schematics. I'm just making stuff up, okay? I'm just making stuff up. And depending on how far you want to take this, like maybe this is a plastic substructure and there's fabric on top of that. You know, the base, you've got the foot, like I mentioned. Let me move my keyboard. I'm running out of space here. So you'd have the foot as well that we had. So all those parts, you know, the cable, and I'm just using my underlay to kind of help me, you know, kind of cheat here. So even on the cable, I'm cheating a little bit, all right? We can cut that off. So the part I didn't show or do was normally I'd move this up the page. So I'd move this up to the top, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's not perfect, but, oh, that's why. Shoot, I realized what I missed now. Okay, I need to fix this. So like this and like so. All right, because we had more meat to the speaker, and that's what was confusing me a little bit. Yeah, and this actually looks like a consistent height. So let me redo. Let me redo. Should I redo it? Let me decide here. Nah, let's just go for it. I like messy sketches. You can see my mistakes, see what I've learned from. There's ways I can fix this too. All right. So yeah, maybe this fits over, right? As it mounts down inside, all of that stuff. Thanks for joining on Sketch Day Live today. I'm Spencer, industrial designer. If you head over to my YouTube, I think on the Instagram Live, we're gonna run out of time about 20 minutes from now. So if you want to catch the full show, definitely head over to the YouTube. That's youtube.com/sketchaday.com. That's where I hang out. I actually thought I was running out of time, but I made really good time on this first one, so not as worried. All right, so PCB, we're gonna have some sort of power supply block, right? Where this thing would plug into, and this thing might have some sort of connector. So I can sketch that in. I'm sketching an exploded view of this product. So we're taking the pieces and flowing it out. Deck of Kings asks, are the Ohuhu markers refillable? No. They, at least if they are, you guys let me know, but as far as I know, they are not refillable. Now, I don't have the real PCB here, and I'm not an electrical engineer, so there's my disclaimer, but I will say, okay, let's sketch the inside of this. Since we have these bosses, I'm gonna need some bosses along here. So I'm just putting these lines in for reference. But you can always, if you have the real product, look at, you know, maybe it's an existing PCB for a different version, or just generally put things in. You know, maybe this thing has a processor of some sort, so I can throw that in, sketch some elements in, like so, on the board, but just enough to kind of hint at things and not be so specific. Because part of an exploded view as well is labeling, okay, and identifying things as you go, and primarily serves not as a presentation piece, but more so a way for you to communicate in what I call a functional sketch. So that's what an exploded view typically is. It is a functional sketch. I'm gonna post a link here to a video. Let's see, types of sketches, when to use them, and you know, this definitely falls squarely in the functional sketch category. I'm sharing that link on the YouTube and pinning it to the chat so you can see it. If you want to check it out, YouTube's the place to be. That's where all the cool kids hang out, basically, on the YouTube. Alright, so I've got my cone and driver. I guess I could have done an exploded view of the driver, but I'll just kind of ghost it. The other thing you can do is a cutaway. So if there's something in here you really want to show, you can do a cutaway view. Let's see, volume-wise or depth. Okay, that should be fine for a boss. And then this boss would be a little bit lower over here, because they have to be at the same level, right? And then this one, it's kind of a weird perspective. It's like 1 point-ish. All right. So I'll do something like that. So yeah, the Ohuhu markers, to my knowledge, which are this brand, I don't think they are refillable. So you YouTubers can get the full view here. I'm going to zoom way out. And now you can see my messy desk, but also the whole stack and our companion sketch. So we took this sketch, this idea, and now we've done an exploded view. Actually, this is wrong too. I'm really struggling with this one today. Let's see. So this would be forward. Would it be? It's like two ellipses, but shifted. Actually, like this, right? No, I'm really struggling with this. Let me think on this. Okay, so if I have an axis this way, the bottom ellipse is shifted forward. Yeah. So it's a weird shape. It would actually be something like this for this top. And then at an angle, that's where you get the full thing. Okay, but like I said, there's a way to clean this up. So I'm going to keep this. We'll add just a little bit of marker, maybe some notes, and then finish it up. All right, so for the pieces, I'm just going to take some dark marker, like say for the speaker thing, and we'll keep it abbreviated, meaning I'm not shading every highlight and everything, maybe just focusing on edges, or if there's areas that would be in shadow. Oh yeah, that's the edge. Here's a little bit of a lip. Skip a couple strokes. All right, so enough to kind of help communicate. Hey, this is our speaker block. Speaker block. And that was such a good album. The Love Below and Speaker Box. Whatever happened to Outcast? It makes me sad. You know? Alright, so something like that. for the speaker portion, and then I'll just do just a generic green for the PCB. There's no marker called PCB green, so I'm just gonna kind of flood this. I guess I could have done a black PCB like Apple would. Turns out there's a reason not a lot of companies do that. It's really expensive. When I was working for another company, the design team, including myself, we always wanted to do black PCBs. But it turns out the yield rate, which means per X number you make, how many are viable. Turns out the yield rate is really low when you color a PCB certain colors. So the engineering teams and finance team would always be like, no, we're not gonna do that, designers. No way. All right, so there's our PCB. Now I've got the base and the top. I know I said I wasn't gonna color this, but like I said, decided I had time. And we're doing just an abbreviated color on this one. So it's all good. Also, I will say, this is just a general shout out or request. I'm always trying to find new music for the stream, so if someone watching produces lo-fi music, which I like, I think it's just chill enough to not be too distracting. But if you produce music and you want me to feature a playlist of yours that is copyright free, I would be happy to discuss that with you, give you a shout out, props, whatever. I tried producing my own and then I'm like, why am I doing this? This is a waste of time. I don't have time for this. Thank you, Imran. So yeah, if you or anyone, I have a few friends that have offered before, but I would need like a solid playlist of like 2 hours of music that you produce. So if that's something you're interested in, you let me know. Am I looking for free music? Yes. Will I promote you? Absolutely. I'll promote the snot out of you. I have to be careful what words I use on YouTube, apparently. Like the systems they use now are so smart. Like if you use a certain word, they flag your video and then you have to like go through this whole process. So I'm trying to be very careful. And I don't just mean swear words, just in general. Alright, I can't find my cool gray 4 for some reason. Okay, there's 2. Maybe there's just 5. We'll go with 5. How do I know where to leave reflections? There's a video for that. Go to my YouTube. I actually posted it this week. I did a workshop with the University of Washington industrial design students, and we covered lighting an object. So if that's something you're interested in, check it out. Like usually, not always, but usually if you just search on my YouTube, you can find something that'll answer your question. So, but the simple answer is, yeah, experience, draw from observation. You just learn over time how to move quickly. I've also been just thinking about sketching in general. You know, what's the future of sketching? Where does this all go? Why do people sketch? I think sketching is a balance. Like how you sketch is a balance between, you know, what's your objective? How much time are you spending on it? Because you do want to be efficient in the way you communicate. Some people can bust stuff out super fast. Some people can't. So yeah, it a lot of that just depends on your skill, your aptitude, and maybe even like how much enjoyment you get out of it. All right, I'm gonna flip this because I want to do some line weight on the bottom of some of these. So Sharpie. Notice where I'm holding the Sharpie. I'm not holding it here. I'm holding it up the barrel. Okay, for me anyways, it makes a difference. It might for you. It's kind of like life. If you can't see where you're going, you're not really going anywhere, and you'll just keep making mistakes, fumbling around, frustrating people. I know I certainly do that from time to time. So you want to back off the situation a little bit. Back off the situation. You know, whatever, if you're in conflict or anything, just back off and then gain some visibility. See yourself, see others, and then move from there. Okay, that's your life lesson today from Uncle Spencer. I know you didn't expect to get that. Boom. Yeah, so what I mean by fix this is whenever you're sketching, if you have some contrast, I could put a giant black background on this, for example, with a nice heavy marker, and that would help things really pop. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, why not? Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. So just taking this black marker and creating, let's see, yeah, we're right about there. I'll touch this up. I just want to try and get, you know, I'm actually lucky to be alive today. I fell asleep with my garage door and my front door open. The garage door is like wide open. All my stuff was on display. CNC router, bikes, you name it, woodworking tools. So I wake up this morning like, oh, why is the garage so cold? And sure enough, it was like wide open. Wide open. All right, so adding that black, like I said, just helps this pop a bit more. And, you know, I'll clean up the edges just a little bit. Whenever I start a project or get into a situation in life, maybe I should do a talk show called Sketch Life Advice. But whenever I get into a situation, I like to tell myself, just relax. There's always a fix, okay? There's always a fix. So that's one of the things I go by as I'm sketching. One of the things I tell myself. Ease the pressure, because you don't want to be stressed out when you're sketching, right? It's not a good place to be. You want to be relaxed, having fun. Trying to simulate some texture here, kind of like we did on the other part. All right, something like that. Okay, so we use that strong black just to clean it up. Yeah, the top's a little bit messy. Again, there's still things you could do. You know, white pencil. You could. I could have used the paint marker as well to help clean that up, but it's enough for now. Let's get our other screws in the back. Like I said, it's a weird perspective. It's like a weird 1.5-ish 2 point. now that we have the black, I can use pencil to create just some rim light on these parts if I want things to pop. And of course, you want to label stuff, right? So here's our grill. With fabric. We've got screws. And our speaker mount. This is our PCB or printed circuit board. We have our B housing and base. And power cord. And if I'm doing an exploded view, I like to label everything as well. So this might be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. So there are the parts to the speaker right here. Since I'm doing this new awkward thing, I actually have to pause midstream. Make sure that my video gets shared. So bear with me. But yeah, to answer your question, Lil Min, we had a suggestion from Instagram to do the speaker. So I did that, and then Chad in the chat was like, can you do an exploded view? So that's the exploded view. It's like, here's all the parts. And the bottom's probably not correct. I mean, well, I guess this could be glued on with adhesive. And the cord here. A connector. Have you ever worked in... Yes, I have manufactured real products. I have. Like I said, I'm working on my portfolio, so